Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. We are on a Wisconsin lake here. Man, it feels good. It is a little chilly. It just feels good to be out. It has been a long winter and open water season is here for the most part. There are still several lakes in my area that have ice, but I expect them to be ice free in about another week. So we'll have our pick of the litter as to what lakes we want to go to. And right now I'm just rigging a few things up. The boat is a complete disaster. It is a mess, but we're rigging a few baits up. I just put on a Bass Tricks Hover Tricks onto a Core Tackle strut head. This is going to be a main player anywhere you're at in the country, especially if you've got a little off-colored water, which we actually do right now. This lake is generally really clear, but I almost feel like we have a little bit of a reverse turnover going on. That can happen a little bit. You know, just like in the fall period when your water temps drop into like the low 50s, you can actually have a flushing of water where bottom water comes to the top and top water drops. That can kind of happen in the spring too. A lot of times after you get the ice that comes off, you get a little bit of sediment in the water, whether that's kind of the reverse turnover or just kind of some of your sediment that's from the ice that's floating around. The water's just off colored right now, and when that happens, I really like having a bait that has more side-to-side rolling motion, and that's where the Core Tackle strut head comes into play. So I'm gonna rig up a couple more rods here, get them ready to roll, and we're gonna head out into the lake, see if we can catch a few really cold water bass. Feels good, feels good. So a couple of things I want to point out about the strut head. The first, and one of the most important, is to make sure that your knot is tied direct to the top of the eye. Don't let it slide down here. Make sure it's staying at the top. I also do not recommend tying a loop knot. The reason for that is because it's so top heavy and wants to roll. If you tie a loop knot, you don't get the same connection point to bring it back to the other side. A loop knot will actually let it slip too much, which is one of the reasons why people like it with, say, a round ball head. But because the strut head is off-centered, top heavy, it naturally wants to roll left or right. So your direct connection actually helps it pull it back to the other side. The other thing to keep in mind is, you know, it's not necessarily always just going like this. A lot of times it goes like this. You know, it rolls on one side left and then it'll switch and roll right on the right side a couple of times. And that's really a very good thing in terms of like pairing up and being the same as, say, a dying shad or something along those lines, where, you know, a fish is usually on one side, and from that standpoint, it's something that you just got to pay attention to. You don't necessarily always want it to be doing the exact same thing where it's just going like that. Just something to keep in mind every time you're out fishing a minnow. Just to give you an idea as to some of the stuff I'm fishing. So the fish in Wisconsin, I mean, you can find some suspending fish, but I'm really looking for some objects. You know, these are some stumps that are down there, little brush piles, things like that. The grass isn't up yet, but you can see, like, you know, this is just a couple of pieces of wood. Here's another little group. I think somebody probably put some brush piles, even though that's not legal. But there's a fish swimming here. You can see him. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna say it's cheating and all that. Well, for me, it's all about getting better at a technique to try to put food on the table for my family. You know, as long as it's legal in tournaments, I'm gonna do what I can to get better at it. There's no reason not to try to improve my own skills. Nice one. And that one we weren't even looking at, guys. We found an area. That's a real nice one. On the old strut hover tricks. Look at those red lips. So we found an area, nice 2.5, that's just loaded with bait fish. I'm just fan casting right now. You can see we're really just in this little flat, and if I scan over, we got a whole pile of bluegill. Those are all bluegill. See all that fuzziness? Those are all bluegill. And I just start fan casting, working it just like a, you know, just popping it like a minnow, almost like a jerk bait. I mean, you're still twitching it, but they love that thing. Oh, come here. Do you eat matte shad? Skinny guy. That's the matte shad color. We had 3 special colors made specifically, you know, in this hover tricks that Bass Tricks made for us. We got Johnny's Juice, matte shad, and just an albino shad. And right now it's pretty even, but I'll tell you guys, we only have like, I'm gonna say maybe 70 packs of each color on the website left. And once they're gone, they're gone. And there's a little side bet between Johnny and I who's gonna sell out first, Johnny's Juice or the matte shad color. And he's got me by like 4 packs, I think, right now. So you guys want to help me not lose the Johnny, you need to pick up some of the matte shad. I like it for the northern fisheries. It's got a little bit, like, it's hard to see it. It's got like almost like a little bit of a bluish tint to it, which I think is good for bluegill. And right now that's kind of the key as to what we're fishing. You know, these the northern fisheries are a lot different than the southern fisheries. The southern fisheries, in your really cold water period, a lot of times what you get is fish that are just really solely keying in on shad. And you get a lot of fish that are out deeper, a lot of fish that are out roaming, suspended. These northern fish, honestly, when the ice comes off, most of them, in my opinion, move into some of these back bays. We're on a little back bay off of the main lake. It's shallower, the bluegill are back here, and that's why a lot of the bass come back here. And it's just a whole different thing. They generally like aren't suspending. You know, we're back here fishing around bluegill. That one I saw, and I was able to cast to. We've caught several today where we're just back. If I get into these areas where there's a ton of bluegill, you know, we're fishing. This is 8 feet of water. And they just get back on some of these flats that have some new grass growth, maybe some stumps. And I'm just fan casting around a lot. If I see a fish, I'll throw to it. But most of the fish you don't actually see because they're down either in that new grass growth or tight to the bottom. And it's completely different than what most of the southern anglers think. It's just, that's my opinion, I guess. It's a whole different thing. The fish, you know, these northern strain fish, a lot of them actually winter back in these areas. They'll be back in a few feet of water under the ice, and they'll be back here until they spawn for the most part. And once they spawn, then they'll start moving out to some of your deeper stuff offshore. But you know, this time of year, they're looking for that warmest water possible. And a lot of time that means you're back in some of the shallower bays and things like that. Okay, so I'm just showing you the colors. So this is the matte shad. You can see this is the one I designed. It's got a little bit of like a blue flake in it. It's kind of a Tennessee shad with like a little bit of a blue flake. And then you've got Johnny's Juice, which has a silver shad back, and it's got a little like goldish green, little purple in it. Another beautiful, just a beautiful color. And then the albino shad, which is really just your typical shad pattern. Just another killer color. Now these are all handmade, hand poured. They are a little bit expensive. I'm not going to say they're not, but when they're hand poured, made in the USA, you know, they're worth it. That's all I'm going to say. And they hold up extremely well on the strut head. Not a giant. They got those red lips because they're so cold. I get asked why we called it the strut head, and because it goes back and forth, it reminds me of Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura when he walks and he's strutting when he walks into places. It's the Ace Ventura walk. A lot of people probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but he's got like the best strut in history. So we figured because the head, this bait goes back and forth, it reminds me of Jim Carrey. We call it the strut. The strut head. They strut right into the bass's mouth. That's what they do. Oh, there's another one. No, they're not a big one. We're just literally just going down this break. He's a chunky one. Matte shad. Come on, guys. I need your help. We gotta sell the matte shad out first. Johnny is gonna give me such crap if he sells his color first. If he sells out. But I mean, some of these fish we're seeing, some of them we're not. Those last two fish we didn't see. Like, it's just we're just fishing. We're having fun. We're going down and we're just catching some cold bass. Like I said, water temp back here is a little warmer. It's 43. So it's about 3 degrees warmer than the main lake. Such a key factor for really early bass. One thing I want to point out with respect to this head, so this head being overly top heavy really was meant for you know, fishing a minnow, shaking a minnow as they like to call it. So from that standpoint, the reason shaking a minnow is really good with it is every time I shake the rod tip, that keeps the top of the bait up. That keeps the bait wanting to pull up. If I were just to straight retrieve it, especially with the heavier weights, the bait will actually want to roll over. So it really was made to be fished shaking a minnow. Now that doesn't mean there's not other things you can do with it. One of the cool things is actually when it falls straight to the bottom, if it's one of the heavier ones, it'll actually stand straight up. It's got a flat spot on it, so it actually will stand straight up. So if you let this bait fall to the bottom and sit there, it'll stand straight up like a stand-up jig head. So that's pretty cool. But I just wanted to point out that it's not necessarily made to say just straight retrieve a boottail swim bait. It's made to shake it. You know, that's what the purpose of this bait was designed for, just to make sure that you keep that top of the head rolling to the top of the water column every time I twitch the rod tip. We also have a bunch of different sizes. We make it in both a 3/0 and a 5/0. Hook size, an 1/8, 3/16, 1/4, and 3/8 ounce. So we have a whole bunch of different hook sizes to be fished with whatever straight tail minnows, you're looking to fish with it. Well, Sarah just gave me a call, said she got done with her stuff early and wants to meet up for lunch, and I'm taking her up on that opportunity. Little lunch date, midweek lunch date. Kids are in school, so I'm gonna let you guys go check out the strut head. I'll put links to our website, or to you can go to Tackle Warehouse, get it there too. The hover, the Bass Tricks Hover Tricks is only available on the Core Tackle website right now, so you can check that out there. And otherwise, I'm gonna go get some lunch. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all of you. Stay tuned, we'll have a new video coming out tomorrow.